feels like the world spinning out of control. Oh wait, it is hurling through vastness, this dark abyss I call home. I just wanna feel something again. Anything will do to break my heart open tonight. Let me feel what it feels like to feel what it feels like to feel something again. I don't wanna be numb, numb from the hate, numb from the pain, numb from the heart that just won't break. So break and break, break and break, break my heart open.
Check.
I just wanna feel something again. Anything will do to break my heart open tonight. Let me feel what it feels like to feel what it feels like to feel something again.
What's up, anybody watching? I'm just getting things set up here. I started 20 minutes early to make sure everything's working right. Starting at London Open in 17 minutes.
To break my heart open tonight.
If you're in here, say hi.
What it feels like to feel what it feels like to feel something again. Something again. Something again. Let me feel what it feels like to feel, to feel, to feel, to feel something again.
All right, there's a few people in here. I haven't officially started. 15 minutes. You can type in the chat, say what's up. Hopefully the stream is cool. There might be a little echo in my voice right now. That'll go away.
Hey man, you got your eyes open wide, your head held high. I know you feel it all inside now. Hey man, you got your heart on your sleeve. There's so much underneath. I know you hear the
Let me
beat
pause.
now.
Just gonna check the quality of the stream here. All right, just getting things set up and checking them. You can type in the chat if you're here just to let me know it's working. I'm trying to watch it back right now. Is there a set? All right, just getting things set up and checking them. You can type in the chat if you're here just to let me know it's working. I'm trying to watch it back right now. Mr. Dean, working. Okay, good. Should get a lot more people in 10 minutes. London Open. Let me send out an email. I need to talk loud and clear. I should get a compressor on my voice. Well, today should be good enough. Starting in about 12 minutes. Check, check.
Amen. Have you listened to the trees? The whisper in the leaves, the wisdom that they speak. It goes like I know you hear the song. It goes like they've been playing it all along, waiting for you. Been playing it all along, waiting for you. It goes like, don't give up now, don't let go now. You're so close now, don't let go now.
Starting in 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
It goes like I know you hear the song. It goes like they've been playing it all along, waiting for you. They've been playing it all along, waiting for you. It goes like, don't give up now, don't let go now. You're so close now, don't let go now. These are your words, this is your song, this is your plea to save the world. Don't let go, please don't let go. I know you hear the song. Don't let go.
Why is this freaking like this?
you go, where the silence goes.
You had a good couple of weeks, Dean. I haven't even looked at the charts in a few weeks. Alright, we should be starting in about 8 minutes.
For that secret wish, the one that never comes. You get what you get, but you go on. You go on. You go on. You go on. And you hope that the world will change just enough for you to be okay. But you wait just a little too long, and that opportunity is gone, gone, gone. But you go on. You go on. You go on. You go on. You reach out, hold on, look for some sort of sign that you'll get there where you're going.
Alright, I just gotta get used to this setup. But I think I'm good. Starting in a few minutes. I think we're good. Is my mic loud enough? I can make it louder, right? Hello, hello, hello. That should be loud. I have to play some music that's not going to get me in copyright trouble, so. This is an album that I just mixed. Unless my client sues me. It does a copyright claim on me. Don't claim me, bro. So yeah, the last couple of weeks were good, says Dean. That's good. I haven't done anything except manage my crypto portfolio for the last few weeks, which has been interesting. As in crazy, as in good. It sounds like a subliminal video. Is it loud? Well, this is just kind of like, hello, is the sound working? People are going to say if I don't have something running. Okay, it's really low.
Spinning out of control. Oh wait, it is hurling through vastness. This dark abyss. I call home. I just wanna feel something again. Anything will do.
Dr. Phil, I need a doctor. Yeah, Bitcoin. Oh my God. And Litecoin and Ethereum and some others. Oh my god. I figured by now I was making some bold claims talking about 27. And then we hit what, 35? Yeah, the golden age of cryptos is here. Not for much longer. You know, when Bitcoin's at 80,000, the percentages are not going to be so great. In the last 6 months, when it goes from 10,000 to 35,000, you know. It's not going to go from 80 to 100, from 80 to 200,000 in a few months. Or it might. Less likely. Get in while you can. Things finally pulled back some. We'll take a look at cryptos. All right. I usually start in 5 minutes with the usual gang that subscribe to me. But for now, I guess for the month of January, or I don't even know how long, this is just going to be free streaming on YouTube. Tuesdays and Thursdays, maybe some Wednesdays too. I don't know. But minimal will be Tuesday and Thursday. So cool. You can type in the chat here on YouTube and I can see it. Good morning, good morning. Can you use VSA in Forex? Yes, you can. The volume indicator tells you the amount of activity. It's a simple piece of information if you'd like to use that information. Yo. Pete, have you been doing the normal live streams or has there been a break? Yeah, I was doing up until whatever it was, a bit into December, and then I just took a break for a few weeks for the holidays. But yeah, I've been doing it. The usual. But after this crypto run, wow, to end the year like that, oh my God. This is the best year for me ever, was 2020, trading-wise. Those last few months really did it. Pulled it out. For real. And the Forex trading was good too. I got like 2 trades a week. I don't spend 8 hours a day, 5 days a week on the charts, but I got maybe 2 trades a week in the Forex for the time that I spent on there, which was very high win ratio, especially the last few months of 2020. Those who were with me. 17 viewers. All right, we're picking up. Again, I normally start in like 3 minutes. So people are kind of used to that. They're coming in now. So cool the chat works. Hopefully there's not too much of a delay between me seeing what you write and you hearing me, so we can have some sort of conversations. You sound like the Borg. Oh, okay. So it's you, not me, hopefully. The VPN and China internet speed sucks. Okay. Also, hi Pete. Hi Carlos. Resistance is futile. Right. Okay. Hugh. I am Hugh. Are altcoins good to buy? Yes, sir. We can look at the crypto charts and talk about what I look for when I buy. I have a little higher percentage of my crypto portfolio in Bitcoin. I always did it that way. And then from there, I got Litecoin and Ethereum, second and third place as far as percentage in crypto. And then from there, you can have a handful that I do a bit smaller based on what the chart's looking like. Like right now, I wouldn't buy OXT or Dodge. There are some that just I'm not touching. But we can go through and look, and we'll talk about why. If you look at OXT, that might die. There's nothing but sell-offs, pump and dumps. There's no real accumulation of that thing that you can see. I'm still hoping that AJ long trade I sent you, that setup was beautiful. Oh, still holding. You sent me? When was that? Do people have different names here now? I don't know who's who. Yeah, see, I'm not going to know who's who now. I'm going to change your YouTube name. All right. Now we're starting to get people in here. So I guess we should look at the charts. All right, back to trading the Forex. That was a nice break. My old friend, the chart. So, checking news for today and the week, first of all. Let's see what we got coming up. Welcome, welcome. You can type in the... Why do I have all these windows? Just trying to get this together here. Why did that... Oh, okay. Learning something a little different. I think we're good, though. All right, checking news. Tuesday, January 5th, 2021. You made it to 2021. Everything's going to be perfectly fine now. Did you know that? I'm serious. All right. Let's check the Forex Factory news. It's already been good for me. January 5th. So it's a light news day today. The only thing listed as high impact news today is OPEC meetings. But there's no high impact news besides that really scheduled. That's a meeting. So there's no scheduled news that's high impact. Just a bunch of light stuff. In just under an hour, we have some Euro news. Light impact, M3 money supply, private loans, light impact. So we'll see if anything goes on really with that. U.S. session. There's going to be medium impact manufacturing. It's PMI. That's in 7 hours from now. You also have some light news Canada. 8:30 New York time. So light news day. Probably get some activity on that medium impact news, 10 a.m. New York time. And I don't keep an eye on oil, I suppose, with the OPEC meetings. I don't trade it. I don't care. They're going to boost production. They're going to cut production. They're going to. Who cares? Wednesday. Let's see the rest of the week. Just for anything big. Tomorrow's PMI day. Euro PMI. Okay, there's late day FOMC meeting minutes tomorrow. U.S. high impact. That's really the next high impact thing is going to be tomorrow afternoon in New York. Okay, New York time. Thursday. Okay, it's a light. Wait, isn't it a non-farm week? It is. Isn't it the first week of the month? It is. So yeah, Friday's the big news. Unemployment rate U.S. Unemployment rate Canada. So we're kind of taking it easy news-wise until Friday. But we have some medium stuff for U.S. All right. To the charts. Welcome back. We're back. 2021. Yes, I like that. WON. I got you, Carlos Wangson. I'm still holding that. Okay, yeah. Okay, got you. Mr. Chad. See, I have to know who's who here. All right. I have to relearn your names. So, I'm switching to the chart now. Just getting used to this. All right. Now you guys can see it, right? Okay, yes. All right. Crack the old knuckles. So, apply the method and see where it leads, right? That's all. That's all. And see what the U.S. dollar yen influence is or isn't. And so on. What's driving things? What's going on? Is this, I hope this is not going to be slowing down my computer or anything. All right. Just kind of reset, get a daily view, see where we're starting from here. So, obviously, from a large time frame point of view, we're trending up against the dollar. Are we trending up against the yen as well? Maybe not as much. Just checking out the correlation situation. Usually the US dollar and the yen are really driving things, in addition to whatever the other currency has going on, which could be nothing, and they're still trending because of the US dollar weakness in this case. That we might have uptrends everywhere against the US dollar, and then somewhat not as much against the yen. The Australian dollar looks very strong against it. The euro went flat. Just overview. Are we in a trending condition, ranging condition? This is ranging against the yen. This kind of ranging, fake breakouts, right? So generally the US dollar weakness has been the story. And as well as the Australian dollar strength, right? Because that looks like it's against the dollar, but that's against the yen. So it's been able to do that. So the overview is weak US dollar, strong Australian dollar, and yen is a bit more neutral. That's just kind of our background, what we're coming off of. That's the first thing. So perhaps going long, an opportunity to go long to against the US dollar unless the charts tell us otherwise and something else is going on. But that is our background. So we'll start with the dollar pairs, and that's nice and easy. Where are we on this thing? Let me just check if anyone's telling me like something's not working. What's up, guys? Happy New Year. Okay, we're all good. What's to our left? Not much. I'm not even going to draw a fib in here or anything because obviously we already broke what the fib would be here. 618, 56.8 retracement, which is all I care about. We're way beyond that. So basically, the overview, simplest analysis here is we're going to get to this point unless we see high volume weakness. Doesn't mean it has to go in a straight line like that. It could even have a retracement first, right? You can pull back and then do it. But that's the destination, unless we see high volume weakness. So we have our simple overview. Let's get into some detail. Let's see what volume's telling us. It's a sloppy trend, but it's a trend. Once you zoom out, it looks a little cleaner. But lately, last few days have really been in this range. And what's going on in this range? Are they taking profit? Are they buying more in the dips? Right? What's going on? Now we're going over, this is literally December 31st, New Year's Eve. We're missing, a few days here. So we're working off a little weirdness. We have like multiple days of no data. January 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, which I'm surprised there's that many days. Okay. Oh yeah, well, it does include the weekend, that's why, yes. That's your favorite singer, right? So there was weakness. Let's just look at our high volume points and see where big money is positioning from and in what direction. And there was some selling into the uptrend. I mean, how far do we want to go back? We'll go back here on a little fake break with some high volume. That was December 30th. So there was some very high volume, highest volume here in a while. Very high volume weakness that came in here, right? So we couldn't be surprised about this down move. This is literally December 31st. Kind of hard to read into. I don't expect it to be totally normal. There was some buying that did come in here. I mean, this is a large candle, but this one isn't. And the volume is fairly high. So there was some good buying in this area, but it didn't really hold as far as really some strong accumulation. But some demand did show up in that area and then sort of fizzled out. And then, of course, that's New Year's Eve anyway. And then here we are Monday in our background. So we can kind of know that, first of all, this area is where potentially sellers are going to show up again. And that's where we had that large selling there. And we did get lots of volume here yesterday. High volume leading to lower prices. Starting off the high price here, a little fake breakout pattern. If you look at the smaller time frames, clearly a fake break for the day. And that highest volume there of the day coming in pretty high. So it is a real sell-off from here again. So although we are in this uptrend overall, right, we are seeing weakness and weakness. So we are sort of in ranging conditions. Again, this is kind of hard to deal with the end of the month and all that, but end of the year. But let's kind of just mark that up to be aware of that. Weakness, which means, first of all, as bullish as things may be, I don't want to buy into this price area, hoping for it to break, expecting these sellers to not show up. So I'm not chasing it into this price area. If anything, I would look to short from here. Because again, this trend doesn't have to go in a straight line. It doesn't have to go anywhere. It could hit high volume weakness here again, and things turn, and we're not bullish anymore. So we just know that that's our background. So, for example, if these high volume weakness points weren't here, it would be a lot more simple looking to buy of strength. So we want to be aware of that, though. Let me check the chat since we're doing this new thing here. Make sure everything's going good. Everybody listening? What's the target for short? Who shorted? Adil, welcome back. Yeah, no short yet. So that's first of all. I do want to look at the smaller time frame. December 31st to kind of just take. I already know that there was some buying that's going to come in, and then it sort of fizzled out, continued down. We're literally talking about New Year's Eve, so I mean, I'm just trying to get a view on what we already know. The higher prices certainly attracted some selling, and these lower prices, we got what we got to be able to look at. Which, when you end the day like this, is very bearish. Very bearish. That means that the buying here is not really committed to accumulating at this price. And it would really have to go lower to hit some higher volume demand, right? So we could summarize this and say, yeah, we're in an uptrend, but the recent high volume is showing weakness. So I have no problem selling off of this area. And if I'm going to be buying, we need to see some high volume strength, right? And hopefully on a down movement, maybe into this area, right? To simplify things, that's what it is. Hey, the method, it works. Just follow it. All right. So as far as what to look for today, I always start with what's the best. The best would be another test of this area. Now, of course, there'll be other opportunities. The best is probably, again, based on this clear background of weakness. Would be looking to short here. Off, again, seeing weakness. The higher volume, the better. Doesn't have to be huge. We already know that this was pretty large positioning. But the higher, the better. Kind of to judge the quality of the trade. So there is that. Which is very high probability, again, if these sellers show up. And, of course, we have our way of entering trades, which some of you know, the regulars. So we'll see if we can get there. Let's just mark up the levels and get some information. Now, selling lower, I'm not totally against that. Again, I'm just going with this recent background, this high volume stuff, showing that this trend isn't what it appears to be, right? And there is a lot of selling. And we may be going lower first. So that's an area that's going to tell us about sellers here as well. It's now just going into the new high for the session. So new high prices tell you about sellers, and this area is going to tell you about sellers anyway. So if we got some high volume weakness here, and really confirm things, then we're expecting this. We got weakness, and then weakness again. And if we have a lack of demand as well, right, in a regular setup situation, then we would be expecting that. Or at least, right, down to support. So that's a possibility as well. And now that we're luckily here already to start the session, we can get some information on that. Let's get in there. What am I using right now? Forex.com demo for charting. I actually trade with them as well as a broker. That's where we left off. Whatever I was using before this was acting a little weird. But I can always check my, if you have TradingView, you can get it for free. You can take a few brokers all in one platform. And then I got my cryptos over there. We'll switch over there and see. But the volume's been good from this broker. That's why I use the demo here, so I can pick which broker I get my volume feed from. So here's our London Open spike, which is always high volume because of the time of day. So I wouldn't read too much into that. Now that we're getting 20 minutes into the session, we can start to trust what we're seeing. And there is the new high ground for the day and into the fib area. And we are seeing weakness. So we'll see if that confirms with a close lower here, which it looks like it might. So we'll keep following that. We'll probably have similar situations on all the dollar pairs. depending on what the pound and the Australian dollar is doing and all that. You can't see my mouse? Wow, okay. Yeah, this is a little bit of a learning experience because normally I have a subscription based thing that's in GoToMeeting. So being on YouTube, no. Is that a thing for everybody? You can't see my mouse? Wow, interesting. It's a learning experience today. Does the fact that down move didn't hit new low ground say anything about the selling strength? Does the fact that down move didn't hit new low ground? Which down move is that? You're talking about this one? I'm not sure what you mean. I wouldn't read too much into that. Can't see your mouse. I'm not sure where you're pointing at unless your crosshair is on. Okay, so I have to do this in order to be pointing at things. Okay. It's a little laggy with everything running on this computer. It shouldn't be. Let's see if there's anything I can close. Yeah, sort of. Not really. The fact that it. Let me go back to your question again. The question is the fact that a down move didn't hit new low ground doesn't say as much about the selling strength as maybe you're thinking. No, we're looking at pre-positioning, so the outcome of that is, the next move that can happen whenever it wants to happen. But if we're tracking that they're pre-positioning short, that's the main thing that's telling us that it's weak, not how much it moved off of that. They could be building up here for another 2 days if they want, 3 days. They could build up here their whole week. And the fact that there's weakness in shorts building up, that's the most bearish thing you could see. The effect, the idea of going into markdown immediately or going into low prices immediately because of that or not doesn't really have a bearing on that. If you see large strength into the down moves, then that takes away some of obviously the bearishness. But it doesn't have to go into markdown until it's good and ready. And the more they're building up short positions, the more likely that down move is going to come in. It'll be large. Likely if there's a lot of building up of positions. Let's see. Okay, so we're good. Now I have to remember to put my crosshair on when I'm pointing. All right, that has to become a new habit of mine. So we confirmed weakness here. And let's move on to the other pairs. Now, the dollar pairs, we'll see if that actually sets up. I'm not in a rush to get anything early. If we continue up and see more weakness here, this is just kind of the first little piece of information we're getting at the open. Let's go through things. So again, looks like everything's trending up against the US dollar more or less here. So more coffee. Cheers. Quite a down move yesterday here. That's a bit more extreme. So I just want to compare the euro and the pound. So the pound had a particularly weak day yesterday. Pound is weaker than the euro, right? Just looking at our bit of history as far as the down move that occurred yesterday. I'm trying to be on the 1 hour chart here. There it is. So a big difference here yesterday. Even though generally the U.S. dollar is driving things, we had a bit of a difference because the pound was so weak yesterday. And it was trending up as well, but brought it down. I do want to see what went on here. This is some high volume. So there was certainly some demand in there. It looks a little more straightforward buying and accumulation than we saw on the euro. Maybe not. Some buying. not convincing that I would want to go long off of this sort of thing at all, especially with decreased volume off of this and finishing off down here. Not really excited buyers going on at these low prices. So yeah, after the overview we got in here, and we're seeing that it's not quite as bullish, at least in the short term, as it appears to be when you zoom out and see that big trend. But like I said originally, we are going to be bullish unless we see high volume weakness, which we could either create a retracement before we continue up, or of course just reverse it, whatever. But that would mean short, and there's our weakness. And if we look here, again, it's really high volume yesterday. It's not traditional weakness in the sense that we moved up and saw high volume. This was a reactionary move, right? When you see a down move like this and the price was just hanging out without a lot of weakness or anything going on, it's a reaction. There were not short positions that were built up here as a consensus for smart money to say, okay, we're going to do this. Let's start positioning and selling into these up moves beforehand, the pre-positioning, the distribution, whatever you want to call it. So without that, and then such an extreme move, you see the way it looks, it's a reactive move. Not everything in the market is completely planned out, right? Just because it's a down move doesn't mean there was a short setup. If big money was not positioning for that, then you did not have a high probability situation to do that. You wouldn't have really known that. So the market reacted. I don't know what went on yesterday with the pound. I don't follow that. I don't follow fundamentals. All I follow is the chart. But something freaked out the pound a little bit yesterday, obviously. And that's a real mini freak out there. So if we can get some confirmation of weakness, right, where do we go from here? And where do you go when things freak out? Well, there is high volume leading to lower prices. High volume leading to lower prices. High volume leading to, right? Every close is lower, and it's high volumes on all of them. So that's just a strong sell-off. As prices come down, yeah, it's going to attract some demand, and you're going to get even more volume for your candle size before it stops typically. But there's just a real sell-off in there. And finally, some okay, decent demand showed up here, but not a ton. As we saw in the 5-minute, it kind of accepted those levels and didn't see some excited accumulation here either. So, but with a background like that, I would like confirmation, and this ends up lining up with things so far correlating. But if we can get an actual sign of weakness here, right, as in they're pre-positioning for the move, unlike this was where they're reacting. But if they're going to stay bearish off of this, whatever happened with the pound yesterday, and they're going to continue to be bearish with that, then of course we would want to see weakness and a proper pre-positioning for that move, which brings us back to correlated situation there. And like I say, I always start with the best setup that I'll mark, whatever looks best for the day on the pair. And in this case, it's that. Of course, anywhere through the fib area up to the 618 overshoot. So really through here and a setup as we know setups to be. So just looking at exactly what, yeah. So if we do get weakness there, that's the projection to at least go back to that support, if not further. But I mean, that would be a great trade just doing that. Oh, I have to remember to put the crosshair on. Yes, I do. That's going to be tough. How's it been? I've been forgetting, right? But at least I'm drawing. All right. Now, as far as finding out about sellers and going to an area where if sellers are going to be active and continue to following up on this reactionary bearish stuff and continue to be bearish, if sellers are going to be active, this area is really going to reveal whether they're there or not, right? But also starting with new high ground for the day, as I say, so which the euro already did. But even just getting above this level, looking at a 5-minute chart, if we get there, we'll get our first real good piece of information. Is this going to continue to be this reactionary move, which is more rare? Is that going to turn into a regular bearish situation where we see weakness before another down move? If they don't show up here, right, then I wouldn't I wouldn't trust that we want to continue to be bearish. That's how important that area is. And then we could be going back to the high, right? Okay. So far, so good. Mr. Chad, what are you asking? This one, LOL? All right. Let's see what goes on here. It's a test for demand. I really didn't expect to be selling here. And so early in the session, I would like to get a little more confirmation of weakness. This is like just off the open. If we can get in here and get a bit more weakness would be nice. But on the more aggressive side, for the time that it's spent, we did get the fake breakout and weakness here, and this would be a test for demand at these levels. 14 EMA, 50 EMA, and a little baby fib. So just to understand what's going on here, if this volume is, if price is coming through here and the volume is low, then we're likely going to continue down, because this is going to tell us about buy activity. And that told us about sell activity, which is very high. How high? Let's back out. Okay, it's not as high as it looks. It's good to do that, right? It's actually not very high at all. It's all relative. So, you know, for the day, we're going to get some really higher stuff compared to that, right? Every day goes higher than that. That's nothing. So, all right, putting it into perspective, right? That could have been much higher. So, all right. So it told us there's some selling in there. There's some selling. We expect there to be some in that spot. But it's not a ton, where there's not a bunch of big money going in right now at that spot. So, yeah, it's good to zoom out and get some perspective. You can also have the opposite, where things look really low volume because of something high earlier. And then you're looking at stuff thinking, oh, it's really low volume, but it's not, because that one was so high. Like after this, next day you're like, oh, this is terribly low. Actually, it's not. It's like average, because that was just so high, right? So let's put it in perspective. We really didn't see much activity yet today, but a bit of selling where we would expect them to show up. So we'll go from there and see. And here we'll test for some buyers. But some more activity generally before going in would be nice. So looking bearish. Let's see if we can get some proper weakness. There's always the plan B trades, and then there's the lemonade trades, but it's my first day back. Can I keep it textbook? Let's see what we get. I feel like I'm taking forever on this analysis, but it's good. I'm being thorough. Any questions? Pete, I'm going to make an indicator that draws a small circle where your cursor is. Problem solved. That would be great. Did I just forget again? Yeah, that's going to be hard for me to remember. All right. Chad to the rescue. Oh, and you sent I completely forgot. You sent the pivot indicator, didn't you? I had so much going on in the last few days. Because we were talking about pivot indicators and how they may not match up with your broker and give you the wrong levels and all that. All right, we can talk about that later. So, the mighty Australian dollar, right? That's a whole other situation here. It's even kicking yen butt right here, where the yen wasn't even that weak if you look at the others against the yen, right? But the Australian dollar is very strong, or at least has been. We'll see where it looks like it may be going now. What's to the left? Anything? Obviously that broke and it doesn't matter anymore. And this one is a ways away. But Chad, you said you're still in that trade, that AJ Long. That's crazy. That's very nice. Let's see. Okay. So this has been the really bullish one. And notice a lot less weakness at the high. Here's finally a bit. And now, let's see how that dip looked yesterday. Yeah, there was some buying into it, but nothing crazy. So it's bullish, but I don't mind seeing a proper reaccumulation. There was this sell-off yesterday. Again, I guess the dollar had a bit of a run that pushed things down. But you see the thing completely reversed. Almost completely. And get our information there. Yeah, that's pretty much broken, so that's fine. We don't need it. All right, so we're in a simple bullish environment here. And I'd be looking for strength. What areas would that be? Plenty of time today to get to some of these levels, ideally. These are like the textbook regular trades that I look for. Then you have scalps, you have lemonade plan Bs. So ideally, we can get to at least here and see the strength. If we get to here, this could be a really nice setup. Which maybe if it doesn't set up, maybe tomorrow. But these two spots are the spots. That's it. You took some profit off at the high, and I'm holding a small fraction still. Cool. All right, so yen pairs. Again, the Australian dollar is strong, so that's probably moving up against anything. Let's see the euro Australian dollar, which is going to be moving down because the euro is going to be weak compared to it. Yeah, even so you have the weakness back there. So would not want to be selling the Australian dollar in any way unless there's some high volume weakness against anything, right? That's the story today. So again, no major weakness back here, right? And this dip, saw some decent volume there. And during our uptrend, we are certainly staying bullish. Nice and easy. Simply put, you want to go, if there's a clear trend, which sometimes there's not, but in this case there is, you want to go with it unless you see high volume weakness. Aside from a scalp or something else, but this is the usual textbook stuff. Well, if we go higher, I'll have to adjust that fib, but that's where we are now. Jinxie. Where the Holy Grail at? The Holy Grail. What's the Holy Grail, guys? Education, patience, and balls. You have those three? It's the holy trilogy of trading. Is that good? Information, patience, and balls. EJ, sloppy range. Wow. You want to be messing with that? This is my last choice. I'd rather do anything. But you know what? Ranging conditions are perfectly fine for range trades. So just to mark that up. I mean, what is the range here? It's not even clear. There's a million supports and resistances. That's the last low. So not my first choice. If this had a clear support, obviously down here, I guess you could say is, but right, there's so many different supports that even a range trade is hard to say unless you're actually down here that you're really at support. Just constantly another support to your left. But the only thing reasonable I would take here is a high volume fake break of one of these levels. The lower the better. They're just so sloppy. You want to end up marking everything. There's just going to be lines everywhere. Yeah, EJ, whatever. Volume-wise, weakness. There is definitely more weakness, right? Weakness. Yeah, the euro looks a bit weak. It's kind of a euro thing, too. Again, the Australian dollar didn't have this ranging issue against the yen, but the euro does. So, it's certainly on the weaker side. And we have some high volume here leading to this down move. If we pop up and see more weakness, we could be going lower. That's the only thing I would do with this. Unless we're really down low and it's properly a range trade off of some whatever down there. We'll come back to it. It's not the best. But we understand what that is. They're kind of evenly matched. The euro's a bit weak, the yen's a bit weak. So they're just kind of choppy, sloppy, rangy, versus relative to each other. Pound yen. So the pound yesterday with that, whatever happened with the pound yesterday, that reactive sell-off, we see it again here. And so that's going to give us the same, that's for now. If we go lower, I have to redraw this. That's really far away. That we don't have to get up there. But again, we had this reactive sort of sell-off, strong sell-off yesterday. Are we going to follow that up with proper weakness to look to get in short? If we're going to go lower, this fib is going to be wrong, so let me just delete it for now. Can we get a proper sign of weakness here, selling into up moves at a regular spot to say it's not just reacting, selling off like that, but there's actually a pre-positioning of short positions and some weakness, so we can get a good spot, get in with them, and then we can expect another leg. So it's not likely to move down in a straight line all day. If it's moving down now, we could get a bounce off of here, off of some lower volume, not showing much strength, and then get our weakness, right? So as far as the pound is weak. It had a reactionary sell-off yesterday, but I want to see weakness, a proper sign of weakness on an up move at some point today. Obviously, in combination with no large demand coming in anywhere, and then I would look to short the pound. So that's the story of the pound, right? Okay. All right. Well, that covers the main. Chad. That covers the main pairs that I trade. Adil asks, can we consider yesterday's down candle on AU strength since it gave an upward reaction? If it had high volume and it was followed by an upward reaction, yes. And then also you would want to put that in context to the whole situation that you're looking at. But by definition, yes. All right. Put on some music, roll a doobie, so we know what we're looking for. Euro is on the weaker side. If we can get a proper... I like the idea of shorting the euro dollar here, right? Very clean background as far as weakness. Some weakness already shown today, right into that fib area. There is some euro news in 12 minutes, isn't there? Ooh, and if that brings it up here, we have a very nice high probability situation. If we get weakness here, a fake break, right? A lot of you know the setup. So this is kind of early, sloppy version of the setup of trying to get in short right now, right? Moving up and confirming weakness and no demand off of that area would make it high probability. It's only light impact news, but that might do it. That might help. Let me check that again. It's a daily candle. Okay, well, if you're talking about daily candles, I don't read too much into it. It says, for the day, there was a lot of activity, but you might want to go to the 1 hour and even the 5 minute to see exactly where that activity took place and what it means. Because just seeing, for me, the high, low, and close and volume doesn't give me enough information about what really went on that day, besides if it was a lot or a little. But where exactly that high volume took place throughout the prices of the day, you don't really get off the daily chart. So it's hard to really make a conclusion, right? I always tell you this, don't be so rigid and say, well, this means that, and that means that, and that means that, because I learned all these different things, and I'm trying to shove them all together. Just look at the storyline. See what's going on. It's like reading a book. Don't be overly technical and try to shove them all together, all the technical stuff that you learned. There's a story playing out, you know. And you don't see me reading into daily volume too much, right? You already know that. You know how I do it. What was I going to do? Oh, yeah, so that Euro news, all right, just to double check. It's light impact, and it's in 10 minutes. Yes. So how's this working, guys? You like it? Good enough? Same as before, we're just on YouTube. I should probably do tomorrow. I'll do 3 days this week. But I figured, why not? If I'm going to be doing this, you know, might as well expand the audience. Do it on YouTube. I had such a good run the last few months of 2020 that I'm not really worried about, you know, making subscription money at this point. So, whatever. I'm out here. But it's working. We're all good. Besides the fact that you can't see my mouse, right? But Chad Carlos is going to make me an indicator. So Euro News in 8 minutes could give us potentially a setup off of here. At least if we can move up, we're going to get some good information. If we don't see weakness through this area, then we might have to wait for that one, right? And that could be nice and big, range trade, whatever. But there are those big short positions back there, and that's not just going to go away. Pound seems to be obviously continuing this sort of sudden sell-off. Whatever happened yesterday. Seems like there's some fundamental influence behind the pound move down. Again, I do not pay attention. It's whatever the charts say, because it really doesn't help in the end. But I wouldn't want to chase it. I want to see proper pre-positioning. And not chase this, obviously, into a support, trying to sell here. Now, if there's a very low volume break, it's likely continuing because there's not buyers coming in. But that's a bit chasey right here. It's Tuesday. It's early. Let me keep my standards high. It's usually by Thursday, if we haven't gotten anything substantial, that I'll start trying to squeeze out what I can during the session, right? Or if we have a couple of days where there just wasn't many great setups. Especially if Amara asks. Amara, are you here today? We get some pips for Amara. Adil with the question, for GU, can we count high Asia session volumes towards weakness? You can look at high volume during Asia and take in that information. Not everybody's active. It's not going to be as telling, but Asia action could give you hints as to what they're thinking, what they're doing, what they're not doing. But once you get some information, if you get some more updated new information, once you get into London, I'd rather be working off of that. It's kind of off hours. Sometimes you'll hit a spot that'll show you, a reaction. And you can kind of work that into knowing what they're doing back there in certain price areas. But ideally, we're working off of what's going to be happening into London session, along with the general background. How about those cryptos? Yeah, that's pretty much why this is free right now. I'm feeling generous. My God. I was going to be happy with 27. I was going to say 27's coming up is what I was saying. I said that, the last crypto class. What was that, 2 weeks ago already? And the thing went to 35. It got to the point where it's like, no, you can't, this can't be real. And every day, every time you look at it, your account's higher again. For those of you who are trading cryptos, which is a bunch of you, right? I got you guys into it in March. Bam. Come on now. I also told you never sell cryptos. Just buy the dips. Have a plan for some really high prices. Don't sell it all off, right? All that, you did it. But yeah, to finish off the year like that, my goodness, that put me ahead of every other year. It was a record for me. And the higher it goes, the more people from my past start showing up and texting me and calling. What do you think? Should I get in now? I've given my course to some friends. Here, just take it. Do it. Pound is really selling off, but not with proper pre-positioning that we would want to get in. We'd be chasing it at this point. Again, the best situation today is likely the euro short. Here we go. 2 minutes we have media, no, light impact. Light impact news for the euro. Whatever works. So we're looking to get up here, and what we're going to see if we can get here is it's going to show us the sell activity. Volume is just showing us activity. That's all. If activity is high in this area, that tells us sellers are very active, because that's the area in which they will show up if they're looking to get active. That's why we have it marked. So we'll find out. And this was the first reaction to this area, so we already saw some high volume selling. But fake breakouts are good. 618 overshoots are good. Confirmation not once but twice in a price area that they aren't building up short positions is good. That all helps the probability. And followed by weakness if we see that lack of demand, right? So as you see, the way I trade is not a bunch of trying to define candles. Don't get me started. No demand. We just want to understand what's going on, particularly in price areas of importance. We don't have a volume juice meter or a hot, cold. What was it? The trade guy is adding the stress meter next. All right. Stop it. No demand. Why sad face? All right, here's our big light impact euro news that's going to get us to our spot and give us weakness. Ask and you shall receive. Go. Now you're asking about gold? Somebody. Where are we? What was it? Owen, how are you? No, we haven't actually looked at cryptos. We have not looked at the chart yet. So yeah, we'll get to that. What's your take on Bitcoin is, yeah. Sold some off, but I'm still holding some. Yeah, we'll get to the chart, sure. You were trying to short this yesterday? I do not see weakness yesterday. Let's see. Strong uptrend. I see the high volume there. From a 1 hour point of view, that's high volume off low prices showing strength. 14 EMA test for buyers. 5 minutes says get some perspective on the volume. Yeah, you did it prematurely where the 1 hour did not confirm, right? I if you're looking at this weakness, this lack of demand is not great. You see some high volume. Here is not great weakness. It's all jumbled up buying and selling through here, so you don't have the imbalance. Here is buying, very high volume as far as the reaction to lower prices. But this is not a situation where you want to be going short. Nope. So, yeah, I think you need to work on understanding the storyline and not maybe just piecing together all these unrelated technical points that you find and trying to figure, just trying to go off of them. I don't know. But you can see from a 1 hour point of view, this is right. And the 5-minute had very high volume here. And again, before that was not an imbalance of large selling and lack of buying. It did not show up properly. You want to go with the trend unless you really see a reason not to. Get imbalance in the other direction. I think you still need to see the matrix a little bit more. Just look at the storyline. It's kind of like if you're reading a book. Your audio sounds like it picks the sound with 2 microphones. Sounds kind of robotic. Nero. Oh, Nero, what's up? Is the sound like that for everybody? This is the, kind of a test run here. First time back on YouTube in a while. So you guys got to tell me what's up with things. Is that everybody? The audio not good? The audio not good? Can I hear it back? Testing. Is there an echo? Audio was weird, and one person says sounds okay for me. Is there an echo? Let me see if this does anything. Is that any different? I don't know. Check, check, check. Occasionally it sounds like you are off the mic. Nick says okay. Well, if a few people are saying it's okay, then I know that some of you might have some issue. A bit weird, but no echo. Okay. Maybe slight stereo echo, but generally sound isn't bad. Okay. Well, after today, I'll see maybe any adjustments I can make. There shouldn't be any echo. It's really straightforward. Input into my computer, into the input jack, like the little headphone jack thingy. And that's the only source of audio that should be going out. All right, well, good enough for now, and I'll hear it back, and I'll play with it after today and see what I could do to improve it. How's that euro going? Okay, a pop-up here and weakness would start off looking for a setup to get short. So that's the closest thing to an entry because the background is so clearly weak on the euro off of those highs, and it's a nice spot to see the pre-positioning for the next move. Again, the pound is weak, but we just haven't gotten proper weakness. It's more of a reactionary sell-off. Any up move today could bring that around. Australian dollar is on the strong side, so I'd be looking for strength to get in long on that. And today I'm going to keep, at least for now, early in the session, whatever, with the more straightforward textbook type of trades like I'm talking about here. And we have potential. We have potential. Do you hear your own voice? Like, do you have voice playback for yourself? The volume is barely on. Now nothing. The stream's current bit rate is lower than the recommended bit rate. We recommend that you use a stream bit rate of 25. Okay, I can't change that stuff without restarting the stream. So I'll try that out next time. A higher bit rate. Okay. Key motion. Did you learn VSA from Tom Williams? He said, yes, Pete Fader. It's no demand. I've been going through the course, has helped me a lot. My course? Okay, cool. I might know who you are. I just don't know your YouTube name. And also, Wyckoff VSA seems to have used most of his stuff, but just renamed a lot of the principles. Yeah. And for me, I looked at the Wyckoff, I looked at the VSA, Master of the Markets. I took all that stuff in as well, many years ago, 10, 12 years ago. And when I got to that, I was already doing basic technical analysis and whatever. So, obviously, learning that really got me on track, though. And then I had to still figure out my own way. I didn't just, follow this or follow that and become profitable. I just took all the bits and pieces that I wanted to from these things, including technical analysis. You can see the way I use a fib. I don't use other levels. I use 50 to 618 as a zone. That's something I discovered that I wanted to do with it. And I took off the other levels, like all the stuff that I do, the fake breakout patterns and certain things. The 14 EMA, the way I use that. And looking at volume in certain price areas as being key information rather than just labeling candles all over the place and all that. Obviously, the Wyckoff phases apply and will always apply to markets, and that's always going to help with the background and knowing what phase you're in. But I took all that stuff and made it my own. I certainly didn't invent most of the stuff that I use, but I picked and which stuff I wanted to use, how I want to use it, and what stuff I want to leave out, and made it more kind of, I think, more logical and straightforward. And that's kind of what you should do with anything in life, right? Learn about it from all kinds of sources, and then in the end, make your own conclusion on how you want to do it. And have that control over your own reasoning for why you're doing things, your own confidence in yourself, rather than just following something. And know why you're doing things, why you're taking trades. That 14 EMA, I was told by a bank of BOE insider, some of the bank algos are programmed off of it. I'm not surprised to hear it. I've had that on my chart probably 10 years, the 14 EMA. Yep. Because there was no, denying the reaction, the information, and what you can get off of that. Strong trends bounce off the 14 EMA. Sometimes, many times. It becomes sort of a floating support, which tells you that if you get to the 14 EMA on a pullback and then, you don't bounce off of it and certain things happen, okay, you could be getting something else going on. But it's a first test for demand, typically in an up move. When you pull back to the 14, the very first spot. How does one access your course? Yeah, I agree. Something from my uni days, simulate, innovate. I like that. How does one access your course? Oh, here's the website. I'll type into the chat. $800 EMA on the 15-minute. Wow, that's a big EMA. Often shakeouts, price will stop there. Wow, that's that one I never heard of. Check that out. 800 EMA on the 15-minute, guys. Oh, look. Oh, goody. So as I said, just above here is where it's going to show us about the sellers. Are they going to be active here? Are they not? It's a very important piece of information to know where we're going to go next. And we pretty much matched up with that highest volume of the day on that and got a squash and a quick fake break. So coming off of this and seeing lack of demand says we're likely moving down. If we go higher, we just want to make sure that we are still seeing good activity in here and price rejections like this and fake break patterns and overshoot the 618 and but we've already seen that the minimum has shown up, the high volume fake break pattern, And I guess the light impact news got us there, as we hoped. So we'll see. We really confirm the weakness. I still like to look at it that way. The traditional sort of, certainly this showed us sell activity in the area that we were looking at, right? Price area, very important. They showed up. If it closed down as a result, it does, quote unquote, confirm weakness. I mean, either way, if it closed up, it doesn't take away the fact that sellers were active. But if you're closing down as a result, you're more likely to move down. And closing up means that you may have already gotten in, seeing the sellers gotten in, and they may be sort of dry in that area. And then you float up through, and maybe sellers don't show up again until here on a fake break. So we'll see how that closes. It's more of a wait and see if it closes up. If it closes down, then we'll call it confirming weakness. I really have no problem with it going higher as long as weakness shows up. It actually helps the trade if we were to pop up here and get squashed in some high volume. Could be highest volume of the day so far, because we haven't really seen that much. That's the one thing that could be a lot better here, right? Comparing to really what we get throughout the day, there's not much going on. So you could get weakness, and kind of move up on weakness until you get the bang, and then come down. So there's that. You know, we judge the quality of the trade if it comes around. So again, after I just zoomed out, right, would be nice to see it get up here and get some higher volume for the day. It's really not a lot to ask for. We haven't seen anything yet on some weakness. So, but if it sets up here, it's a lower quality trade, right, because of that. Pretty logical, right? At some point, that volume is going to kick up. You know, we could have gotten a lot more here than that. But that's sort of the minimum to say, yeah, they showed up. It's happening. Just to put it in perspective there. It's just measuring activity, right? Okay, the voice thing. Yeah, wait, let me play back a bit of my playback. Hold on. Oh, okay. I'm playing back the stream. Now you probably hear echo. I'm playing back the stream, but I don't hear anything. You guys do hear me, right? Huh. I'm getting used to this. Mr. Carlos Chad, you want the quick and dirty version of the cursor indicator now or wait for the polished one tomorrow? Email sent. Okay, yeah, I'll get to that. Thank you very much. Very helpful. I can use what you sent, or if you send me another one, I'll use that. I'll probably do it after the session, though, or at some point if we take a little break for a second. All right. So, well, some people are saying the audio is a bit robotic, whatever that means. I sound like Daft Punk. I'm going to be the lead singer. So on the euro, I would take this information as, yes, some sellers showed up. This is still low volume for the day so far, but we certainly had that go on. There's not a big rush to get crazy, but they showed up. In a bearish environment, you would expect something like that. So it does help confirm that we are still in this. There's not, if they don't show up here, that would mean, we're really going higher likely. So patiently selling some into that. And again, if we pop up, I would expect, if we're going to be continuing to go along with this background, very high probability that you'll get the highest volume of the session so far into this to squash it down. And that would be much better for the setup. And that's really, not a lot to ask for. In this environment, we should get the highest volume of the session into this, on the 5 minutes so far for the day, into this area. We should. Again, if they don't show up like that, then okay, maybe we're going higher, right? Because again, they have all these short positions back here. And a good old fib retracement, and the whole deal should bring us down. But if not, we may go up here for a really nice, really high probability short, again, if they show up here. So either way, if it breaks to the upside, just have to be patient. And that would be good there. Key motion, yes, can hear you clearly. Like some people say it's good and some people say it's not, so I don't know. I'll watch it back. Do you mind looking at dollar Swiss? Okay. So it seems to be testing historic lows. Read something the other day. I'm sorry, I'm jumping around. Read something the other day. Last 25%. Last year, 25% of all the U.S. dollars in existence was printed. Oh. You mean that fake money that's just meant for people like us? It really means nothing. Yeah, I think everyone realizes once and for all that money is just some sort of made up shit. Debt is some made up shit. It's all made up because some small group of people said so. Here, let's use this paper. Ridiculous. It's completely a joke, yeah. It's got to end sooner or later, please. The haves and the have-nots and the fake money. Come on. You think of something better than that. We're not gonna take it. Okay. You want to look at dollar Swiss? Sure. Before I even go there, the dollar Swiss is very often the euro dollar in reverse, in inverse. So there may be a long setup. Maybe similar, just upside down. Yeah. But anyway, I'll do the analysis, see what's going on. Well, I haven't looked at this since December 1st. All right. Daily chart. Oh, this thing is really, all right. Historically low, yeah. There's the low. So trending down. It looks like it's going to continue. I say that because there isn't a large demand off of these low prices. Forget about that. That came and went. Low prices again, not large demand. Higher prices showing some selling. So it's not over yet. And the next place buyers would be likely to show up to change this bearishness would be into low prices again. So it's likely not that that's a setup that I'm marking. Unless there's some very high volume, I would not go long. So yeah, it's likely to continue. For example, you got the fib area and a recent swing point high here, so you would get very likely weakness in here to continue down if we popped up there today. It doesn't have to break now. But as far as the, looking for a weakness and the positioning to get in there along with, that's a good spot. I wouldn't chase the breakout. But yeah, it's going to have to go out with a bang to convince me that it would be bullish again. Have to have a lot of volume off of low prices. So yeah, I would trade the trend down there and the retracements. Nero, what is this, $2? Shut up and take my fake money? Is that real? Can you guys send me money? You don't do that. Shut up and take my fake money. Is that really going to go to me? I have this set up with YouTube? I guess I do because I monetize my channel. Thank you, Nero. I will buy a candy bar. Me and Nero go way back. Back to the forum days. How's that Eurodollar going? All right, good. Exactly what I wanted. Let's really make sure, number one, that they're building up short positions off of this area, and number two, if we can get some higher volume for the day, because again, I keep zooming out to remind everybody, we haven't seen much yet. So when you look at it closely, you go, oh, look at that high volume weakness, but it's really not much for the day. So now going up into here, if we can outdo this, I'm not asking for too much, right? Let's get the highest volume of the day here. What's with this very low volume? Everyone have that low volume on their chart? If not, then I got a broker issue here. I got to change brokers. Is that real? It should look similar on all your charts. If not, tell me. All right, good. Here we can find out. Meanwhile, pound may move up just to kind of check. I do like the euro potentially here now. But the pound, again, weak, and if that's going to move up, sort of correlate, then that might give a short a bit later. We can remark up some levels a little later on. This guy just doesn't want to stop. Australian dollar, very strong. Let me check the euro, pound. Check some of the others. What's driving? Of course, weak dollar. Weak yen, but not as weak. Dollar index. Well, yeah, that's right. I started using the dollar index. Even though I could already tell you what it looks like. And euro pound. That's what I wanted to see. Yeah. All right. Yes, you get my €2. Buy one Red Bull. Like, yeah, 10 years back. Yep. Type Rob, who are you? It's funny, I know a lot of you, but from over the years and everything, but I don't know your YouTube name. So I have to like relearn who's who. I can't believe you can donate me money. That's funny. Thanks for the euro. I want to check, and I'm going to look at cryptos too, right? I'm just keeping my eye on this thing right now, but I want to check and make sure that I'm not getting any funny business on the volume feed there. It looks a little suspiciously low. What do I have on Trading View? I have Awanda. Let's check that. I know you can't see it, but I'm just comparing the euro dollar volume. Okay. Awanda says low. Okay. And if you see two completely different brokers giving you basically the same story, then all right. Then you can trust it, right? Okay. And let me switch back now that I just looked at that. Okay. And you see the 1 minute. Really dropped off. So now it's got to be bam. We need to see large sellers. If it's not happening, it's not happening. We'll be selling higher. Find out. Maybe they're here. EJ. All right, it's early. Let's see what we get here. Like I said, it's all about, like I always say, price areas, not time frames, not identifying random candles, price areas. So this price area here, up to the fake break, so up to about there, is going to reveal sell activity. If it's low volume, then we know there's lack of selling. If it's medium volume, there's moderate selling. If there's high volume, there's a lot of selling. It's that straightforward right here. So if we're seeing low volume, we're going to go higher. I am not looking to short. And that tells us what they're doing. The big money is not shorting here. Why? Well, they're probably thinking they're going to get this price and be able to short there, and that would be better. Higher prices attract supply, lower prices attract demand. And if you can't get the imbalance here of large supply, lack of demand, you go higher to get that imbalance, right? And again, we already see them positioning from here, so it's very likely that that would set up. This is a more, assuming, hoping, waiting and seeing if they're going to go into this markdown, lower lows, lower highs pattern off of this weakness. But if they're not ready to do that, then we could be going back up. Now, as far as selling and distribution, and why I marked this from the beginning is because that is the best spot. The best place to sell and distribution, obviously, is off of a test of the high or fake break, risk-reward wise, because even if you don't go into markdown, you have your down move in the distribution range. So that's the difference between these two spots. This is going into the downtrend, but if they're not ready to do it, they're very, very likely just to continue to build up higher. Or if we make a new resistance and then fake break that or something, right? We start to see some build up somewhere else. But right now it's kind of a void, so we have that and that, unless we get a new resistance. Well, everybody should understand the situation here. Pretty straightforward. IC market similar. Yeah, thanks for checking. Yeah, it's quite a drop. Type Rob. Okay, cool. Just a fan of YouTube. Watching all of them. Cool. A lot of videos out by this point, right? Well, let me upload my chart in here for you. Okay, yeah, I guess it doesn't let you do that. But you said it's similar, yeah, and Awanda's similar, so yeah. Definitely 3, that's enough to know. Because when you get weirdness from your broker, that's what it looks like. That's why I was thinking that. This is basically, obviously right now, this is fine. We're all looking at it, comparing and say, yeah, more or less we're all getting low volume here. That's fine. But when you're seeing some funny business with data feed, it's typically that you're missing some data. And that missing data, missing price tick log, whatever, is going to translate into lack of activity. It doesn't know that it's missing anything. It just gives you what it gives you. But in this case, it's real. But so when you get that on one broker and the other ones don't have it, then you know that, all right, time to switch again. It could happen, throughout the day a few times. But that's only dealing with the spot Forex because of this way that we get the prices. So either way, this is a strong level to test for sellers. And they didn't show up big, but there is an imbalance to the downside off of low volume, which really tells you the lack of buy activity if it's able to move down like that. On low volume? Let's see the 1 minute. Wow. That's all they got. Well, that's where I was looking to short from. But I do not see the weakness. It's really low volume. So I don't quite trust that. We'll see how things develop. If I had a spike in activity here into this area, then I'd be looking for a lack of demand to enter the trade short. Put my stop here, allow for a fake break. But the activity really dropped off, so let's see if it can straighten itself out. Do I trade crypto? Yes. I know we're supposed to be going looking at cryptos before I go. Yes. Swing trading cryptos. Scalp here and there, but for the most part, especially lately, it's just buy the dips and hold and take profit into higher prices, and with a laid out plan along with what the chart is saying. And yeah, we could look at that. Key motion. Yeah, I noticed those fake breakouts, like you said, into fresh supply, often the best entries. Yeah. And when the ultra high volume, when it closes in the middle and next bar down. Yeah. I shouldn't even say this, but if I was going to make an EA, which I'm not because I have a brain, then I would have to start with the fake breakout pattern. It's a simple thing that is there for actual logical reasons why it happens so much. And I'm talking about it constantly because it's constantly happening. Then you see the low volume up candle and shorted. That's the setup I've been working on, being patient for. Yeah. So this could be a low volume test for demand on Europe. Well, we didn't get the weakness. That's the missing piece. The fresh supply, as you say, the high volume into higher prices. It's really low volume. So there could be low demand and low supply, and that's not the proper imbalance. Of course, we want high supply, low demand if we're shorting. So the supply not showing up here is very, makes it dangerous to short. They should have been all over that. And then we'll be testing for buyers here. So here's our, tell about sellers here. And now if we're going to get a little lower, 14 EMA, it'll show us buyers. Maybe we'll get some large buying and we'll end up going up. Maybe we'll get some buying and break out and get the selling there, right? But the imbalance is not there. High volume supply and low volume demand. It's all just kind of low volume right now. And again, I keep zooming out just as a reminder, we haven't really done much volume-wise today, so I don't want to read too much into it. It's not big money. We're just kind of easing in, market open. Again, generally the pound is bearish, so we can move up. I'll be looking for the short on weakness. Australian dollar is very strong. If we move down, we may have long opportunities. Aside from any high volume, from a 1 hour point of view, high volume changing things, that's where we are now. All right, we'll see how things develop. Cryptos. Okay, give me a second. What broker do you recommend for crypto trading? I'm using Coinbase. Okay, give me 1 minute, and we will continue. 1 minute. I will be back. All right. No mute button? Okay. Hello, 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 hello. Oh, okay. Does this cut out my sound when I do that? Is that cutting out my sound? Hello, 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 hello? Oh, I thought that was the mute. Can it be a test for sellers? Okay, where are we? Oh, yeah, we were going to look at the Bitcoins. Yeah, what broker would you recommend for crypto trading? I use Coinbase. That's the only one I've ever used. So if that's not available where you are, I don't know. I would stick with the big ones. Oh, okay, gotcha. On IC markets, only 5 times. Oh, I'm not using leverage. With cryptos, I am not using leverage. Straight up exchange. I tried Binance already. Don't like the broker. Seems laggy. I haven't tried them. And yesterday on that big shakeout on Bitcoin USD, the platform went down in some countries. Yeah, I'm switching over. I should be able to do this fairly easily. Ready? Here we go. Crypto chart. Except that's Eurodollar, but that's my crypto chart. All right. Again, just to repeat, normally I do this subscription based for subscribers, but now I'm, for at least for the time being, who knows long term what I'm doing, live streaming for free. Tuesdays and Thursdays, maybe some Wednesdays. And here's the website if anyone is interested. I am typing it. Okay. What about MT4 for Bitcoin? Well, brokers. There's brokers, which is what we use for Forex, for example, and then there's exchanges. I don't think the exchange can be tied into MT4. Maybe I'm wrong. If so, then that would be fine. Can MT4 volume be trusted? Well, when it comes to that is the key. When it comes to volume on the cryptos, I need to see the pure exchange. I do not want to be looking at a broker's version. It's very different. At least the last time I checked, which was a long time ago, which was a clear decision. I am not using this. And when I first looked at cryptos for the first time years ago, I looked on a broker, not an exchange, a broker with leverage on an MT4, and I looked at the volume of cryptos and I said, well, I guess that's something I'll never trade because that's just terrible. It was just all flat. And then one day I looked at it somewhere else or I saw online and I'm like, oh, that's real. That's good. It's normal. You got to go right to the exchange, not a broker volume. So, yeah, wouldn't use a crypto broker, right? I mean, I guess if you're not trading with a lot of money and you want the leverage, but that, no, I would stick to something else then. I don't know. At least the way I do it. I like the pure exchange on the cryptos. Let me get caught up. Bitcoin is so strong that every down move is bought up immediately. Yeah. Very kind of you. Very welcome. $190 million worth of longs was liquidated on Binance in 10 minutes on that big shakeout. Yeah. And that could have been one dude. I've moved the markets on smaller cryptos myself. But yeah, that's true volume, yes. Or it could have been one dude that triggered it and then others followed, panic wise. Meanwhile, yeah, lower prices are good for buying, so that's fine with me. 2 minute lag between the chat and the video. Well, that's for you where you are, so I don't know if everyone's dealing with that. I know you have extra issues where you are. But we'll see after today. You guys can give me feedback, email, or whatever, and let me know what could be better about the stream, because this is really the test run here, and I'll be doing it regularly, though, on YouTube. One thing you can do is get futures volume. Right, you could pay for the CME. Okay, so try to refresh. Yeah, that might. Meanwhile, I want to check really quick. I know you don't see it. The euro is popping up again. Okay, we'll keep an eye on that. So, looking at the cryptos, basically, for those who don't know, really quick, home base for me is the 4-hour chart. I'm swing trading. I'm not regularly, at least, doing in and out in a day kind of stuff. Especially now, it's just been holding, and the 4-hour is what I'm using. I have customized this volume indicator, as you can see. And the colors are pretty helpful to represent selling and buying. If you go back before back when things were a little more sideways. But looking at this for buy opportunities, this moving average, it's not, well, we have a moving average and that tells us to buy, but it does give us a sense of where we want to be when we are buying and accumulating on dips kind of thing. Strong trends may not hit it for a while, but that's fine because you're in it from when you're in it on some of these lower points. So these are the kind of areas that I'm looking to buy, right below the 100 EMA on the 4-hour chart. And I customized the volume indicator. Not that you really need the colors. We already know that's strength, and lack of weakness here. You're likely breaking out of this area to the upside, right? If you look at that whole range here, the buying to these prices, the lack of selling, there was an imbalance to the upside all throughout September, right? We saw this coming. Anyway, so I can just do that. So Bitcoin is where I have most, or at least a larger percentage of my portfolio is on Bitcoin than the rest, followed by Litecoin and Ethereum. Beyond that, I do have some spread around on the others, less percentage. At this point, I mean, you kind of should have been in. If you're looking to get in, you could start with a certain percentage at this point, but know that prices are high. You need to buy low and sell high. And if you're working your way into cryptos, because I do have people asking me now because it's become a thing again now that we're up here, it's in the news and everything. Pete, what do I do? You can start small from where price currently is, small, and work your way in buying on buy signals on the lower prices. And I can't get into the whole explanation now. I do have a course on my website, and the live streams will be looking at it. If there's any questions, you can let me know. I know a lot of you have the course and are trading this and are doing well. And if you have any questions, I mean, at this point, for me, the crypto's trading, it's swing trading, it's simpler. It's not 5-minute entry base. And I made more on that in the last couple months. I mean, you can see the chart that I had in Forex, and it's been a crazy ending of the year with that. But the way I've been doing it is holding, swing trading, only buying. I'm not selling as far as a trade. I buy the crypto and I sell it off back into US dollar for a profit. That's it. Um, so, for us who've been doing it for a little while, we've been in. And if price didn't do this huge up move recently that it did, we're still profitable, but that just kicked it into ridiculous percentage at this point. Chainlink and ELA. Once volume comes in, looks good for a long term too, I think. I've been scalping. Okay. So website. Everybody can see the chat, right? Okay, yeah. So I'm used to having to read the chat to everybody because sometimes I get private. But yeah, as far as I don't look at anything else just to say for me, and it's been great, and I'm sticking to it forever. Um, I don't pay attention to anything besides the chart. I say this over and over again about anything. But what's supposed to happen, and every now and then there's a buzz about something that's supposed to happen. I don't pay attention to any of that. Who's doing what, or big money is looking to do this or that with cryptos. Never paid attention to it. The chart tells you the truth about what's really happening and not happening, and that's it. The example I always use when it comes to this stuff is you can see accumulation. You put your buy in. The next day price goes up. This is just a general thing, not cryptos, anything. You put your buy in because you see accumulation and you're expecting an up move. And then let's say next day, hypothetically here, the next day the up move happens on breaking news, and nobody expected it because it was a surprise, right? But why was there accumulation beforehand, and why were you already in the trade on the surprise news that moved the market? Give me a break, right? Once you've seen that enough times, just listen to the chart. You know how many times that's happened? Oh yeah, media, please. The media is useful in a different way once you realize what it is. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's damage control. Sometimes it's desperation to have you believe something else quickly because you know what's going on. My screen is off. You should be able to see the cryptos right now. I clicked off for the chat, but anyway, aside from getting into my whole crypto method, what can I say? Any questions, let me know. I got the course, and I'll be continuing to do this for free anyway on YouTube for a while. For the people that learned my method on crypto, I don't think there's much to ask or do right now. We're good. You're holding some, right? You didn't sell it all off, right? Okay. Back to the Forex. What's going on? Where am I? I got to switch here. So I'll do 2 hours, which is already flying by. Smart money jumped in and grabbed all the cheap prices. Yes, of course. Yeah, it's selling a false narrative a lot of time. News, yeah. I mean, there's even, yeah, it's the false narrative. It's sometimes they have to play catch up, and they look desperate. That's when it's just funny. They'll say somebody said something. I won't say who in particular. Anybody said something, and then the people heard it. They go, "Oh, what's that about? Oh, hurry up, hurry up! Tonight we're featuring a story, and this is what it really is. This is no, forget that. It's this." Uh-huh. So watch them squirm. Yeah, I'm seeing like the screen disappear on the playback. That's weird. But right now you should be seeing MT4. Let me know if there's any issue with that. It might be switching off when I switch away from it, but it shouldn't. Like if I do that. Oh yeah, do the opposite. Yeah, that's of course. Yeah. Oh, I see. I have to actually be on it for you guys to see it, or else it goes to black screen. Got it. Okay. Yeah, there's all kinds of yeah. Once you learn how to read a chart, and then you know, you know what the news is saying, it becomes silly. You realize what's going on. But it's great. VSA, the one place the big money can't hide their footprint is in the volume. Yeah, not only the volume, but the way in which they operate will never change. Which is most simply put, buying low and selling high. So when you have high volume at a low price, unless it just continues lower as a result, and even if it does, it still tells you that buyers were active at that level. And then you can start following where they're buying and selling and what they're doing here and there. Okay, so the euro dollar, I don't like the low volume right now. This is where I was looking to short, and if it goes without me, that's okay. This is exactly where I was looking to short. We don't see enough weakness. The weakness that we do have is here. You should have really, ideally for a high probability drop here, increased more in this area. And again, I keep doing this today because I want to remind, this is all nothing. So yeah, there's a maybe a better chance of it coming down than going up from here, but the activity for the day is very low so far. And once that pops up for real, that's gonna shake things up, right? And that's what the big money is, doing. And I rather see that before I put anything on. And we could mess around and do this later, as far as proper weakness here. But, logically put, if they're so ready for this down move, why is this such low volume here? This was the best price so far to sell. Now, if it looked like this, they would show building up of positions confidently, but that takes away the probability. If it goes without me, that's fine. It's early. I need to see more volume. We really got quiet there. What else? To summarize before I go, nothing's really changed. EJ is whatever. All right, I'll finish up soon and give a summary before I go, what I'm looking for. But hopefully this was at least a success for the most part. Streaming on YouTube. I'll check back the playback, see if there's anything I can improve. You can always let me know. Like I said, I normally have a subscription-based thing for these live sessions, but now they are free for the time being. Who knows for how long? I'm just kind of in the moment. I don't know. I did so well at the end of last year. I just feel like doing it for free. This way, if I don't feel like showing up, I could just stay in bed. It is 3 a.m. for me at London Open. But Tuesday and Thursday is the plan, at least the minimum. And I have my website, which has courses and, of course, a ton of YouTube videos that are all free, and you can learn from that. Lots of stuff. But if you want to attend on a regular basis, what you can do is, for a reminder of when I'm streaming, if I do it on a different day, if you want to know while it's happening, you can go to the website and sign up on the mailing list, which is different from the form to ask a question, just so you guys know. Like, some people fill out the form and they just put their email address, and that's a questions, comments form. So you don't want to do that. You want to write in the subscribe for emails box. So here's the website. Again, the live sessions used to be a paid thing. For now, at least, they're free. If you're low on funds and you just want to learn, God damn it, excuse my language, you could attend the free sessions, watch my YouTube videos. You'll be moving along just fine. But yeah, make sure you put your email in so you get notified of the live streams if you want to do that. So there's the website for that. Just put your email address. So I'll be emailing people. I'm starting the stream now, a few minutes before I start. It's always London open. Very well. So there's the people that made money off cryptos, and there's the people that didn't. Not to be an ass, but it's really in those two categories right now. It's funny. I had somebody who trades, kind of doesn't really know what he's doing, but kind of does okay. Stocks too, and whatever. And he's like, man, I thought cryptos was like a scam, some sort of scam thing. I'm like, no, let me explain it to you. Should I get it now? What should I do? And again, for those people, I would start a position very small, as in 10% of your portfolio. You can start putting into cryptos, and as price moves down, it gives buy signals, which we can talk about more. You start working your way in. If it just moves up and up and up and up on your 10%, okay, well, at least you're off to a profitable start, and you're waiting. Things don't go up in a straight line forever. They do not. We're not going back to 10, though, that's for sure. But there will be dips, and we will get them. We will be back to that 14 EMA. That's the Forex. 100 EMA on the 4-hour. We'll be back to it. But if you notice, the ones that PayPal are going to start offering, I don't know if they've done it yet or whatever, is Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. Those three. You can buy now through PayPal. So that really expands, that ups the demand. This stuff is going up because of real world demand, which I said in the beginning. Pete, is this stuff going to ever go up? Cryptos. Real world demand has to happen. Who knows if that ever was going to happen? Now it's happening. PayPal, you can go to PayPal and buy Bitcoin. Or at least it's coming. Officially, I heard it from them. So what they're offering is Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. Those three. Now, look, compare those to the rest. We're talking about PayPal. Compare those to the rest, right? Those are the most bullish. Is PayPal doing all of this for the most part? Probably. It's probably one of the biggest companies in the world. It's got to be in the top 5, right? So, but either way, if somebody gets into, and they have to have available cryptos for people, so they're probably stocking up, whatever. But that's the deal. And for people who don't really know trading, and Coinbase is scary for them, the average person, they don't know how to do this stuff, and then they see it through PayPal. PayPal says, click this and you'll own some Bitcoin. Okay. Or Litecoin or Ethereum, and that's it. No others. So there's going to be this more demand for those three, because we're talking about PayPal. Keymotion. Okay, cool. Yeah. Again, if anybody wants to know, be notified of these live streams, just enter your email in the subscribe box, not the forum, but the box. But I'm no expert, like I say. I just read the chart. You know, somebody initially sent me an article. Look, PayPal's going to take this. I'm like, is that even real? It's news. It's MSNBC or whatever. CNBC. I don't trust it. I guess it's possible. Maybe they're looking for a pump and dump, and they're going to say, oh, actually, they changed their mind. But then I saw the notification from PayPal that it's actually happening. So, yeah. PayPal Square Cash. Yeah, is that what it's called? I haven't, I'm no expert on it, but it does seem to be happening, yes. All the fastest way of sending money digitally. It makes sense. Okay. Now, for cryptos to be a actual real currency that people are using, I mean, it's going to have to settle down. The volatility is going to have to chill out. The percentage change is outrageous compared to, U.S. dollar and our regular currency fluctuations. It's not moving 100% in a month. So, again, this is the golden age of cryptos. If it's going to become a real currency that people are really going to use, it's going to stabilize. And it's going to start looking, and eventually in a year, 2, 5, 10, it's going to look like every other chart. It's not going to have these, huge moves. So enjoy the golden age. I'm glad I shared this information in March and told everybody when price was at 5,000. Bitcoin was at 5,000. Let's go. Federally chartered banks can facilitate stablecoin payments, issue their own link. SEC is going after Ripple. Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, regulations coming in. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's a ever-developing thing. So you might want to, the most information I'm going to get is going to be probably from you guys and whoever I talk to in regular life that tells me about this and that happening. But otherwise, I look at the charts. So you can be the experts on the fundamentals. If there's anything important, you could tell me. I'm a chartist. Pure. It's pure, like water. I wish I knew you in March. I said, when prices are this low, I've seen enough cycles, guys. It's time to buy. It's either the end of the world or the buy of a lifetime. Which one you want to bet on? If it's the end of the world, who cares anyway, right? Buy. Buy the panic. When things stabilize, you're not buying as it's dropping like a rock, right? When things stabilize, you get your first little fib retracement on a 1 hour chart. You see accumulation, lack of supply. You start to mark up. You're good. You work your way from there. Okay, cool. Thanks for sharing. All right, guys. Cool. So this is working for now. The plan is I will be back on Thursday. So it's Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's free for now. We're doing this on YouTube. If there's any way I can upgrade this whole situation and make it better sound-wise, visual, I'll look and check it out. Any advice you could tell me, but I think it worked for the most part. That's it. As far as trades that I'm looking for here, again, this hasn't gone away. If we can get weakness in here followed by lack of demand, a lot of you know my entries, that's perfectly fine. That's what I'm looking for. This time I didn't do it because the weakness wasn't there. And here we get a bit of demand, actually, right? And these baby fibs, as I call them, are accurate. That is a 618 overshoot, 50 EMA. So that's areas that we test for buyers. So if we get up here and we get our volume spike, again, we haven't seen much volume today, really at all. So seeing the highest volume of the day so far, up to that point, would be ideal. Or at any point before you get into a trade. If we're this low on volume, I really want to see some more activity. So that could pop up weakness. Again, if it doesn't show up, then likely this is going to show up as a short. They are positioned from this price area, right now. A lot of shorts. So if it doesn't want to go into markdown, zigzag its way down, then you get distribution and a really good entry there anyway, if it shows up. Again, the pound sudden sell-off yesterday, so let's get some confirmed weakness into an up move. This would be an ideal area, and look to short that. Now, all this is subject to, the 1 hour not changing. If we got climactic strength, something up here or even higher, showing strength on a pound, obviously that would change things. But for now, we have that. And that was some decent volume on this, so maybe we can finally pop up and get a nice short. But we got to see weakness on the pound, not just that reactive move. I want to see them pre-positioning and get in with them. The Australian dollar has been strong, strong, strong. I do not want to short that. If we go higher, these fibs have to be updated, have we? No, we're still in the same spot. Okay. So simply looking to buy on the dips and sign of strength, especially AU, but AJ as well, yeah. And that whole thing is actually very clean. Right, 618 overshoot. Right, lack of weakness on the uptrend at key spots. And then the buying comes in, ABC retracement to 618 overshoot, right? And we could be zigzagging our way back up to here. That is the projection there. So I'll look to buy a dip on strength there. Look for a proper setup. EJ is a bit rangy, sloppy, choppy because the euro and the yen are similar. They're just a bit on the weak side, and they're still similar to each other. We're just getting this choppy range stuff. Like, what's the bottom of the range? I don't know. So, not really looking to do anything on that. Pound yen, again, it's pound, so same thing. Looking to sell, unless we see some very high volume strength. We're looking to sell weakness here. Weakness on an up move. All right. All right, before I go, I'll just finish up on the chat. $500,000 for one Bitcoin in 5 years is completely reasonable. Everyone understands how it works, right? It's just got to be, there's a finite amount, and it has to be broken down into more. The more demand there is, the more it goes up. It's very, very straightforward. This, you can't manipulate it to a certain extent if it's happening like that in real life. It's real life demand. It's not trader shit. And that's completely possible. If it becomes a viable currency, the world is using it. 30% of all transactions are in cryptos, maybe in a few years. Then yeah, Bitcoin, I don't know. You have to ask a mathematician maybe to give you more accurate, but 500,000, 1 million, yeah, per coin, right? Having, yeah. Yeah, it's about limited supply. So as it becomes more and more used, it must go up. Must. Pete, you think we should expect crazy volatility tomorrow with the election mess in Congress? Yeah, that's possible. Yeah. I didn't even think about that. Is tomorrow the 6th already? That's the doomsday. 6th. Yeah, we'll find out, huh? We'll consider that tomorrow. Yeah. We're going to be, hours before. Just hours before. So we'll get a sense of what's going on. The battle for Earth has begun. Tomorrow. The demand price goes up even more. Yep. The hourly 4th January 15 GMT, is that not strength? What are you asking about in particular? We're finishing up now, so I'll take a quick look if you want. All right, so these things worked. It was a good test today. I will be here on Thursday. I'll sign up again if you want to be notified of live streams. And that's that. Tony's not telling me what pair he's asking about, so All right, next time. Let's end it here. All right, guys. See you on Thursday. This is fun. We'll keep doing this on YouTube for a while. Take care.